folks, and welcome to my channel. So this is going to be a video reading, energy read, looking at the spring equinox, which is on the 20th of March 2025. It's an equinox energy in general, because in the northern hemisphere we've got the spring, which is where I am, and in the southern you've got the autumnal equinox as well. I'm just going to read on the spring equinox today, simply because I'm here. I'm in the spring. And I've tried in the past to do videos where I'd cover both, but what I find is I'm going against my natural flow. And my natural flow is the fact that I'm here in this energy. My body is in this energy, my soul is in this energy, my energy is in this energy. And I find that whatever is opposite, in this case it with the autumn, doesn't get as much out of the video or doesn't get as much coverage. So you can watch it if you're in the southern, that's fine. But there's always a comment that comes in of, don't forget us. It's not that you're forgotten, it's that we're in different parts of the world and my energy is here. Um, There'll be other people out there that are reading on those current energies for where you are in the world. And this comes back to actually being in tune to why we're living where we're living, in the rhythms of where we're living, and not trying to step into rhythms that are not our own. And you see it online a lot where people try and read on both equinoxes. And in actual fact, stepping into our own rhythms, I think, is much more helpful to us than trying to even think what the autumn energy is. I mean, we know what the autumn energy is. It's all about release. Spring is about planting seeds. But there'll be different things that we'll be experiencing, and there'll be similar things as well. So, spring equinox is where we start to come out after winter. We start to slowly rebirth ourselves. We start to see the colour. We start to see greenery coming back. We start to see the animal kingdom starting to come back to life. Not that it died, but it hibernated. We're starting to see other people again. We're starting to open our windows and open doors and go outside. And we're starting to notice the sunsets and sunrises. And we're starting to plan things and all kinds of things. And it's interesting, is this, because as humans, we have been conditioned by the false matrix to, hand cream, by the way, to live outside of the rhythms of our life. And I'm guilty of this, where we'll be planning our summer holidays in winter, or we'll be planning Christmas in summer. And we wonder why we're so discombobulated and overwhelmed. It's because of that. Well, that's one aspect of it. We're not seasonally living. There's a lot online, isn't there, about seasonal living? I say in winter that we had some snow. I think it was this winter, and we went online, and the typical statements are there. Back in my day, we went to school when it snowed. I'm sick of hearing that schools are closed and workplaces are closed, and in the snow, we worked through it. Well done. But actually, in fact, that's wrong. That actually our ancient ancestors would have hibernated when it snowed. They stayed in the caves, they stayed in their homes. Um, it's us, the modern world, the evolutioned world, or the I don't know, the world that's gone forward, evolved, that's actually wrong. Because we should be living in harmony with the seasons. Um, and we've been trying to fight against it, and we've not even been really thinking about the seasons until recently. Some people have that never let go of it, or the lion's never lost it. But as we start to step into the seasons, we're going to become more mindful of it. And this is going to be a great thing in health. Truthfully, don't they say that the actual New Year's Day is tomorrow? Or is it something like it's different depending on what calendar it is, but spring is actually meant to be the start of the new year. And yet you're told that January the 1st is the new year, but you're in the depths of winter then. You're coming out of the Christmas celebrations and you're in the depths of winter. You don't want to do your resolutions. You don't want to go for that morning run. You don't want to do the gym. You don't really want to diet, because your body is, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere, your body is telling you to actually eat stews and soups and bulk up and stuff for the winter. So that's why we fail our resolutions. Whereas now, springing forward is a time to think about the future. It's a time to think about the next 12 months. what you'd like to bring forward. And it's in line with the astrology as well. Don't forget the astrology video that I did with Jasmine, where she said to be steady for the next 6 weeks, which I think leads us up to April, middle of April, which leads me to my next point. We've got the astrology saying that. Um, the weather is saying that as well because it's going to be hot, cold, hot, cold. But also as well, the energy that I'm feeling is actually saying that as well. You know, today it's the sun shining, cracking flags, and you can already hear people out with their lawnmowers. And it's almost like let nature just have a little bit longer. Does the grass need to be pristine? Do the flower beds need to be pristine, really? When really that is the animal kingdom. And I think I saw something on Facebook from a gardener that says we really shouldn't start touching the garden until April time because there's that crossover period. Um, Still things that are hibernating, that energy of still being slow releasing. Um, But again, is that conditioning? Because again, our ancient ancestors wouldn't have had pristine gardens. I remember in my old house, and I wanted pristine flower beds. I didn't want weeds, didn't like weeds. Don't judge me. I've changed now. And I spent hours trying to clear those beds. Hours. And the more I cleared them, the worse the weeds got. Until my guide said, "What is this problem with weeds? Why are you so? I've got to have a clear flower bed." Does it matter if you've got weeds? And are they really weeds? Because a lot of these weeds are actually medicines, they're actually flowers. And then I moved here, and now I'm so different. I'm not obsessed over the flower beds. In fact, some people could come in and go at the flower beds because that's the animal kingdom. It's not, we don't let it get out of hand. But I think last year, from me being the type of person that cut the grass every 2 weeks to I think it was once every 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks, maybe even longer. I did the whole no mow May as well. Mow May, so you don't mow the lawn in May. Um, and again, it was like it actually slowed down. It was interesting. So listening to what the animal kingdom, what the plant kingdom wants, not trying to go in and clear the decks there, and bring that into our own lives to just steady away in the home pottering. Because there's a lot going on collectively at the minute as well, a lot going on collectively. One of the things I'm hearing a lot recently is fools rush in. So fools rush in. It could be an opinion that we have and we rush straight in with it because we've not processed it. There's a lot of not processing going on at the minute. Could be a piece of news that comes on, could be something that happens in the family, could be something that comes up in you, could be something that comes up in work, and we're not processing. We're knee-jerk reaction. And actually, when you sit and really just going to balance and neutrality and temperance, and allow the energies to actually deeply speak to you, you see a different perspective and you realize that things aren't as scary as they seem. I'll leave that with you. That you realize that things aren't as bad and as scary as they seem. We're going into a lot of shadow purge as well at the minute, real deep shadow purge. So I've got a little list down here. The youth. I want to talk about the youth. I don't think this is an equinox thing, but it's something that's come through in these energies. So I'm going to share it. I got a download at the weekend. And what were we thinking? What were we thinking of talking about? I think we're talking about jobs and careers and stuff like that. And anyway, and I was shown a vision that the youth. So what I'm thinking about the youth here is the teenagers and the children of today. And possibly those in their early 20s. I mean, this can actually be across the board, but bear with me. A lot of the youth are going to start going into very different jobs than what we did. So we all went into further training, college, universities, degrees, banking, doctors, dentists, CEOs, going into civil service, all of that, going into the police, going into the fire. And bear with me if you think, oh, we still need these services. Bear with me. This is all part of the change. More and more youngsters are not going to be doing that. They're not going to be chasing the ego. They're not going to be chasing power. They're not going to be chasing the dollar or the pound. They're going to be aligning to the soul where work is concerned. And this isn't about them earning less money, it's actually quite an abundant mindset. So, for people already on a spiritual path, when this happens in their families, it'll be supported and welcomed. And I'm glad they're doing that because I can't bear the thought of them going to university and all the stuff that comes with that and the debt, etc. People who are in families where there is no spirituality or no ascension energy or no awakening energy, or there's a denial of it, will find it more of a struggle. But they're in those families for a reason. It's going to be more of a struggle for some people to accept because of the old patriarchal ways of doing stuff. Every man in this family has been a doctor. Every woman in this family has gone into nursing. And by the way, there's nothing bad with any of these jobs. It's going to be changing. So youngsters are going to be going into creativity. They're going to be devising new jobs as well, new ways of working. They're going to be going into jobs that fulfill them, that could even be working less hours as well. There's going to be a real step away from the toxic hustle culture, because I do think that we still need to show up and not just expect it all to come to us. Also, as well, there's going to be a change in working environments that we've already got, and this is already happening. And by the way, the thing with the youth is already happening as well, but it's going to get more and more ramped up. More and more working spaces are going to be realizing that what they're doing is not working, that they've worked us to the brink, that so many people have got nervous disorders, anxiety disorders, physical disorders and illnesses and disabilities, and that humanity is on the brink. So many employers, even the big ones that possibly like Amazon and stuff like that, will be looking in like a domino effect over time at ways that we can start working in harmony with our bodies. I'm telling you, I've seen this. Work in harmony with our bodies, with our soul, with our energy, and with the cycles. So, this could also be about the cycles of the weather, looking at what we can do in the spring and the summer to what we need to step back with in the winter. And it's going to become more of the norm. And also, as well, look at in relation to cycles, looking at women and periods and perimenopause and menopause and pregnancy. Um, because the truth is, women are built a certain way, and it's a difficult one, and it shouldn't be. But many women have felt the urge to go into these big places where there's a lot of masculine energy to try and keep up, and it's going against the cycles and the rhythms of the body. I'm sorry, but it is. A woman has to go through so many cycles throughout her life. Why? Because she is the creator. Okay? This came up in a session today. Women, the divine feminine is the creator, and the divine masculine, but the woman, the womb, is the creator. And because of that, I'm smiling because they're talking to me. Because of that, our bodies, and this is whether you've had children or not, go through cycles and go through a big release stage. We just look at the period as a shedding of the blood. But the period isn't just a shedding of the blood. There's all the physical, scientific type of it, but there's all kinds of things, energetic shifts. Also, as well, at this time, we know there's a big divine feminine purging. So there's a lot going on. Because I'm going through the perimenopause, I've started to really tune into my cycles. And I know that the day I start dropping things, the next day I come on. I know that couple of days where I feel like I'm going to take somebody on and nut them. 2 days after, like you could put me in a ring with Conor McGregor. I'd love to, but boom, and I would literally put me in a ring with Conor McGregor 2 days before my period, and I'll splatter him. I don't want to be in a ring with him. In Tyson Fury, I could manage that. No, no, no weird energy with that one. I don't think. Let's hope not. Anyway, not about boxers. I do like boxing actually. It's still about in my old masculine energy. Is that anyway? Moving on. I grew up in quite a masculine household. You said two brothers, so I grew up with a lot of that. Um, so we're going to be more in tune with that, and we're going to see more changes with workspace with that. With that will come that old toxic energy of, back in my day, that energy. Even young people are saying that. Back, they never made allowances for us, and we're going to need allowances because as these energies change, we're going to be living more in tune with our bodies and what our bodies are in a healthy way, and more in tune with the cycles of the weather, cycles of the system, and cycles of the masculine as well. Because the masculine, I'm hearing that the masculine goes through cycles as well. Um, that the masculine cycles were eradicated more than the feminine because the masculine was needed to go out and do. Interesting, interesting. Um, this is also going to be coming into place in schools. There's a lot of people going at the education system at the minute, and I understand why, but there's also a lot of good teachers in the education system, and there's going to continue to be changes in education as well. Um, I'm seeing the old style classes that back in my day, where they had those lines of chairs, that's going. A more circular learning is going to be coming in, where it could still be in a desk, so getting the desks in a circle. It could be on the mat or whatever, but they're going to start to come out of that desk type mentality and come into community based. Also as well, going and having lessons in the woods, lessons on the beach, it's coming in and it's already in. It's just going to take some time to seed, if that makes sense. Um, I'm also being shown the fact that there's going to be less pressure for homework. I mean, my niece was doing some homework the other day, and it was like, it, 11 years old, and it was like nuts what she was having to do maths wise. Um, she's right funny, my niece, so well, they both are, but I don't know why I'm having to do this, right, Broad Yorkshire. And it's like, don't ask me. Anyway, I was like, I don't even know why you're having to do that because that's not going to help you budget a household. It's not going to help you budget your wages. It's not going to help you understand. Anyway, if you want to go work in mathematics, that's fine. Um, but also as well, education systems realizing that and having more lessons and classes on life. You're going to see more well-being influencers going into schools to do talks about life, about trauma, about addiction. There's going to, a lot of people at the minute are going into so much fear. But what I've been shown over this past week is so exciting. It's so exciting. And rather looking for the latest intel on the global stage, to look at this stuff is riveting. It's interesting. It's eye-opening. It's soul expansion. Um, and it is going to cause a kickback in certain areas, but more and more people are realizing that that's interesting. I'm seeing it is going to cause a kickback, but it's also going to cause many people to retreat. That energy that was very antagonistic, we've seen it all in staff rooms, online, whatever, the boardroom, is actually going to become very Four of Cups energy. Do you know what I mean? Where it knows now, and I say it because it is an energy, a dense energy. It now knows that it can't get its own way. That bullying, threatening, shouting, passive aggressiveness can't get its own way. So it's starting to type energy. Type of energy where you've been texting someone, they've ignored you, so they text you back eventually, and then you ignore them. That type of energy. Let's pull a card for the changes that we're going to be seeing in the world. Changes that we're going to be seeing in the world. The Edge. Take a chance. Do something different. You cannot make it up. Take a chance. Do something different. That also looks very much like the event, this the talk about the shift. That's interesting as well. I looked at that from ego from a bit. As in, ooh, the shift, the cutting down the middle of them and us. I did. But then I saw that. So you can be on different sides. You can vote blue, vote red. You can be trans or you can be straight or whatever. But actually, there is a higher connection between us all. And this shift isn't actually about them and us. Those people that are still in the them and us mentality, there is a lot of ego in that. Even people that you perceive are unawakened, or not ascending or whatever, have a lot to teach, have a lot to bring to the table. Boundary stones, negotiations, contracts, and communication. Again, what I said about going out into the wilderness, the fields, the woods to learn. Seeding the new, reconnecting with the ancients, the ancient beings, the ancient goddesses and gods and ancient stone circles. That could also be something that's coming in when more schools are going to start to visit these ancient places. And the secret chamber, potency, deep connection, and treasure. So, all of the dark, or what we perceive as the darkness that we're going through right now, isn't actually darkness. If that makes sense, it's darkness, but it's not the old dense darkness that we used to have. We're having to go into the darkness to find the light. That's what the shaman does, you see. The shaman goes into the darkness to find the light. Stands to reason. We'll pull a card from that deck, by the way, was The Ancient Stones by Rebecca Campbell. And this deck here is going to be the Lemurian Star Child Oracle by Leanne Carpenter and Michael Kroon. It's a very big deck, this. Two. Breathing and expression, authentic expression. Words are powerful, truth. So expression, how we express ourselves in our work, in our life, breathing, ground, feel, sensations, purity, clarity, and expression. How am I expressing myself in my world, in my life? Am I fake expression? Am I not actually doing the job I love? So again, this comes back to the next generations. They're not going to be faking it. Fake it till you make it. They're not just going to be marrying anyone because they have to get married. They're not just going to be having kids because that's what you do. They're not going. This is going to go out into all areas of life. They're not going to be going for the big houses. There's a big thing at the minute called tiny house living that a lot of youngsters are doing, tiny homes. I'm not saying that all are going to be doing this because for some time we'll still need the other jobs. But as the world changes, we'll need less doctors. We'll need less money men or women. We'll need less of that. And the ones that we do need are going to be very different to the old patriarchal energy. So as more youngsters are going into low key jobs and more wholesome for them jobs and not being afraid to say to granddad or dad or patriarchal whatever or mom that wants them to be the best at whatever, there's going to be like, I'm not going to give a shit, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. But at the same time, those jobs that are high, I call them highbrow or high learning or whatever, there's going to be new people going in there to dismantle them, to do things differently. It's a time of great change and great revolution. A lot of people at the minute are struggling being here at this time, but really there's no need because we're rebuilding a world. We are rebuilding a world. So I've got Kate and Meghan on this list as well. What am I going to talk about Kate and Meghan? St. Patrick's Day. Kate appeared at the Irish Guard ceremony and she looked beautiful. Um, And then was it the evening or the morning? Meghan came on. She's here again. Meghan came on and she'd done some waffles, green waffles, and put a post on. Now, as it flashed up on my thing, so I went onto it and I actually could feel the energy in it, and it was like whoa, because when you read energy, when something comes up on your phone, sometimes you can feel the energy. It was like whoa, what the hell's that? Not because of the waffles, but just this energy. And I could feel that energy within that picture of Catherine's done that. I could just feel it. I could just feel it. Um, in all fairness to Meghan, she's produced some beautiful food over the past few. I've not watched it yet, but from the pictures I've seen, I mean, a lot of people that have watched it have actually liked it when they've gone in to watch it in neutrality, or they've gone to watch it with compassion, love, and joy in their hearts. Um, but I could feel this energy. And then I was like, Kate can't. And I went into a shadow moment. Kate can't do anything, can you? And it was like, this is getting out of hand. And I just sat there and I just thought, does it matter? Follow your own advice. Let them. Then the next day, and I came across another article on Instagram, and it said about Diana and Fergie, Catherine and Meghan, and how history and society and the patriarchy love to pit women against each other. And just in that moment, it was like, we need to stop. Whatever a woman's done, even if she's committed a heinous crime, same for men really as well, going for them. Now, we can say, I don't agree with you, I don't like what you're doing, or you're not for me, or whatever, that's fine. But this going for someone savagely, and some of the stuff online is horrific. It's horrific. Um, and this morning I revisited thinking about this upcoming video I wanted and content. And what I was shown was the fact that, of course, both of these women are going to be rising at the same time in very different ways. And that's okay, that two women can rise together separately. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean any the less for her or any the less for her. That Waffles doesn't take the shine off Catherine, and Catherine going to the Guards parade doesn't take the shine off the waffle making, or the fact that Meghan's setting up a business. Doesn't matter. Take it away from royalty, take it into our lives. It doesn't matter if you've just announced your wedding day and your sister's just announced she's pregnant, or you've fallen on and your best friend's gone and fallen on, because there is that energy out there between women. It can be shocking. Doesn't matter if you're really proud of your car and those over the road have gone out and got a big high-end Audi. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you've got, I don't know, a council flat or a little house somewhere and your sister's gone and got a mansion. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you've just got a job. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for us, and it doesn't matter for other women as well. All women should be allowed to rise and shine at the same time. So even if there is a little bit of one-upmanship, which I am not Meghan's God, I can just say there was a bit of an energy in that post, but it's not our issue to deal with. It's not our issue to deal with. Um, and actually, if we're really secure in our idols or those we look towards for inspiration, we really shouldn't be getting triggered by other people. The opposite. It's like back in the day, it was not Charles and Camilla. It was Charles and Camilla, but it was Diana and Camilla, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, if what you're believing in is solid, then why are you triggered by the opposition? If what you're believing is solid, then why are you getting triggered by the opposition? If your belief is Catherine is solid, then why are you triggered by Meghan? If your belief is Meghan's solid, then why are you getting triggered by Catherine? Same with politics as well. Take this into all our belief systems. These are interesting times. Interesting times. So let's pull a card. I've got a tarot deck here. This is the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. So Catherine and Meghan. Catherine, interesting. The Tower has flipped out on its own accord and gone into reverse. Catherine and Meghan at this time. Catherine and Meghan. Catherine and... Ooh, God, another one's flipped out. Two has flipped out. Six of coins and the Strength card. There you go. Ooh. The Empress at the bottom, which is the creator, that these two women are creating and working in very different ways, and that's allowed. Meghan is allowed to go and walk barefoot in the garden and take pictures of fancy stuff and flowers on cakes and little sexy cocktails and call Harry hate. She's allowed to do that, just as Catherine is allowed to show up and do her duties as Princess of Wales and Queen. Neither way of living may resonate with you or may be for you, but they are allowed to live their lives. One more card, and then I'm going to do it. Yeah, the Three of Swords. We've got to let this pain go. This thinking that other women, even when women are against us, even when you're faced with somebody that actually is trying to copy you, in that moment, if you just go, let them, bringing in Mel Robbins again, let them and let me deal with my life. Six of Coins, clarifier. Six of Coins, clarifier. Six of Corns. Corns? Six of Coins, clarifier. Six of Coins, clarifier. The High Priestess, the Ten of Coins. This is stuff that's been passed down. But also as well, look at that. And you know, that's the first time I've seen a depiction of this card like that. Now, this could be the fact that this card has changed because we know that tarot cards do change their pictures, but that's all women. That is all women. Now, usually, this card is the grandfather, the mother, the grandfather, his son, his wife, and their child, and the dog, and the chest of money. But this is all women. Some women are playing music. Some women are reading books in the studios. Some Meghan's there with her. Look at that. Some women are picking the fruit to make the preserves, but they're all getting on. They're all getting on. They're not letting that old toxic patriarchal energy separate them. They're seeing that we're all sisters. And this is clearing in a very big way. And not letting that old patriarchal energy, toxic patriarchal energy. And also, as well, what are you getting fed? Because whilst they keep, because yeah, they're two separate women, but they also hold a frequency. Every woman does. It's whether she chooses to embody it. But whilst they're keeping, when was the last time you knew of any men on the world stage that were continuously pitted against each other? Or divorce cases where both partners have been quite weird with each other, and yet it's the female that's labeled the narcissist, even if she is. It's the female that gets brought down. I'm going to be controversial here. Remember what's his name? Johnny Depp thing. I remember the texts that Johnny Depp had sent about Amber Heard that I think when they were read out in court, they made my blood run cold. And I remember thinking, God, no one can support him after this because, yeah, there's issues with Amber Heard, but whoa, those texts were quite vile. And yet, because he's Johnny Depp and we all fancy him. I don't, by the way. But that has to stop. We're going through some incredible times. And when women become strong, they won't slag off other women. You'll be able to tell a weak woman by the way she treats other women. Ooh, that's a powerful thing. Thank you. You will be able to tell where a woman is by how she treats other women. Now, I'm being shown a female judge, that is sat in front of a female child abuser. And that judge I'm being shown is able to step into kindness and compassion, even though she's dealing with that. And that's when you know you're dealing with your divine feminine energy. When you see a woman going to about other women, be it mother, be it her mother, be it her daughter, be it her sister, be it sister-in-law, be it mother-in-law, be it Meghan, be it Kate, be it whatever, whoever it is. Wow, powerful, powerful times. Also, as well, there's a 1333 angel numbers that as we cross that threshold. Um, these are powerful times. And this isn't about, kumbaya, I love you all, everything's perfect. And look at that, you've just shit rose dust. This isn't about that. This is about being able to see the flaws, the shadows, but also to be able to stand in dignity. Oh, you'll find that when we step into antagonism or anger or whatever, or jealousy or judgment, we'll get bitten on the ass and it'll become more and more prevalent. So I just thought I'd bring that in because I think, we're going into this new seeding, but also as well, we're going into releasing in the Southern Hemisphere. So seeding new ways, releasing the old. We see how different areas of the world can actually balance out what's going on energetically. Um, and it complements each other. You see what I'm saying here now? See how it's happening? It complements each other. What if Catherine actually complements Meghan in her actions? What if Meghan, on some level, also complements Catherine? What if we also look at and think, aren't we lucky to have both? Because both these women are showing us it's okay to still be in a structure. It's okay to still be in an institution and dealing with it with dignity. But it's also okay to have that life as well. That all of it is okay, that we don't need to be in a box. That some people thrive in structure. Now, I don't know, Catherine might not be thriving in, I think she's struggling with it, but that's by the by. Powerful time. So one more card for the spring equinox. One more card for the spring equinox. I've done a video on the JFK files as well that have been released, and that is on GT Tarot. So please make sure that you're subscribed to that. GT Tarot is the old CT's Royal Tarot, and then went to a booktube, and now is GT Tarot. That channel, we're not sure what's going to be happening yet. We're just letting it plod on until around about July time. When round about July time, we're going to have a real sit down and discuss where it. That's why it feels a little bit because things are changing, if that makes sense. So any like reads, I think something's come up in the collective. Rather than put it on here because there's already an itinerary of videos on this channel. I put it on GT Tarot, but we're going to be having an overhaul around about July and just deciding where things are going to be. What is GT Tarot going to be called? So one of you asked how many tarot channels, how many YouTube channels do I have? I have this one. We have GT Tarot, which is Gary Thackeray Tarot, which is my husband, where he does daily inspiration stuff. And we're doing a tarot course on there, a free tarot course. There's about 6 or 7 videos on there so far. And, hot topic reads or CT reads, which is about anything that's happening in the news. There's also the Thackeray's, which again is going through a transition where we do days out and natters and vlogs and things. So, yeah. All the socials are down below, and there's TikTok and Instagram and Facebook as well. I would say Instagram and TikTok is the place to be rather than Facebook for me because I don't do any video content on Facebook anymore. It's just clunky to upload video content onto Facebook. I don't think it's really set up for videos. And I do a lot of lives on TikTok where I come on live. So if you want to see me live, get on TikTok. And all that detail is down there in the description box and pinned comment. Be the mountain. Slow and steady. Foundations and patience. You don't have to be out there. You don't have to be out there. You can just come in and be slow and steady and be the mountain. When everybody else is, be the mountain. While everybody else is trying to knock each other off the perch, be the mountain. Releasing the past, emerging, transforming energies transmuted. Emerging. Interesting. The sanctuary, harmony, balance, joy, and contentment. Slow living is coming in, not just the Instagrammable slow living, but even that has a place. But really slow living. I was watching, if I could, I don't, again, it's one of those things. I watched a creator, I don't know what they're called. She does like nervous stuff where like nervous system. And like how we are, where we're vacuuming really fast, and then we're dusting. That I can feel it now. I've only done it for a few seconds. That does something to our nervous system, and it really, really makes us ill. So alarm goes, we're up, we're kids, all that bathing, showering, packed lunches. Our nervous system is in pain, and she says about slowing it right down. See the beauty, gratitude, the sacred is everywhere. And again, that looks like the lady's bits. See the beauty. The sacred is everywhere. I told you about the JFK file video. It's on GT Tarot because I went on a tangent after that. It's on GT Tarot. Oops. So we've got two cards. Healing, gentleness of love, realignment, and transformation for the equinox, and forgiveness. See the bigger picture, trust and heal. See the bigger picture, trust and heal. It's about seeing the bigger picture. That all the stuff that we're getting distracted with, all the stuff that we're just getting caught up in the spider's webs and other people's webs, that it's not serving us. We've got now star children that are not going to be working like we are. Well, I'm not how I was, because I don't work in the mainstream anymore. No veils, psychic, different, cosmic inspiration, and light. See how light that card is. They're not going to be doing big corporate jobs, and that's not saying that someone that does is dark. It's saying that they're coming in with a different frequency. Even if they do step into those areas, they're not going to be doing it the old ways. Interesting times ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your spring. If you're watching me from the Southern Hemisphere, thanks for watching me, actually. Thanks for, I'm sorry I didn't go into the north, to the, you see, I can't even say autumn, but it just doesn't feel in alignment with me where I am. Thanks for watching. Love to all. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.